Yes, it's a beautiful Saturday morning at Inioluwa, and we're live at the studios of our Power 102.7 FM. This is your delectable sports program, Sports Diaries, and I am Sports Diva. And this beautiful morning, of course, I will be taking you on an eventful ride through the world of sports, beginning from the latest sports update, expert analysis, and exciting highlights in the sporting arena. Yes, now let's kick off. Let's start afresh, beginning from the NFF, the NNL. We have got this on the NFF and the match between Rovers FC versus Ekiti United. The Referee Development Committee of Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, has suspended indefinitely Inya Victor from officiating in Nigerian National League NNL. The referee suspension was contained in a statement signed by Aminu Mohammed recently. Inya, who was the center referee in the clash between Rovers FC and Ekiti United in Uyo, was reported to have awarded an unjustified penalty in the match. The statement reads in our quote, "Our investigation discovered that you awarded an unjustified penalty in the match between Rovers FC and Ekiti United. Your actions did not only negatively affect the outcome of the match, but equally brought the game to disrepute. In view of this, you have been indefinitely stepped down from all league matches and other matches." Recent reports state that Inya was the first referee to be suspended by the league body in the new season. Moving on, still in the home front, we have got this coming from Uso, and it is stalking Eagles AFCON squad. Super Eagles head coach Eric Shell and the scouting committee are reportedly considering LASK right winger Moses Uso for inclusion in the squad ahead of the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. According to recent reports on X, Eric Shell said, and our coach Eric Shell and scouting committee are reportedly considering the inclusion of 23-year-old last right winger and playmaker to bolster the Super Eagles attack ahead of the AFCON 26. The 23-year-old playmaker has impressed the Austrian Bundesliga this season, scoring 3 goals and providing 2 assists in 13 league appearances. Uso recently scored in last 3-1 victory over Storm Graz, giving his side a 2-1 lead in the 27th minute. His current from form represents a significant improvement from the last season when he failed to score in the 8 league appearances for the same club. The former Slavia Prague winger is working his way back to full fitness after suffering an ACL tear that kept him sidelined for over 250 days. He skipped his summer vacation to focus on intensive rehabilitation at the last Fest in Arena. Nigeria has been drawn in Group C alongside Uganda, Tunisia, and Tanzania for the tournament in Morocco. Yes, still talking Nigeria. Nigeria trash betting 11-0 in Para Games opener. Team Nigeria opened their West African Para Games campaign in a ruthless fashion on Friday, thrashing Benin Republic 11-0 in an amputee football as the host delivered a commanding performance in the first fixture of the 7-day tournament. Ahmed Usman struck 4 times. Michael Joel netted a hat-trick. Aize Dadio added 3 goals after coming on, and Ibrahim Ndako scored once as Nigeria overpowered their opponents in the 15th minute contest at the MK Abiola Sports Arena. Nigeria also created the first chance through Usman, whose exchange with Joel almost produced an early breakthrough before Joel's follow-up effort came back off the woodwork. Moments later, A poor goal kick from Benin goalkeeper fell straight to Usman, who reacted swiftly to fire the host into the lead. Nigeria maintained their dominance in quick interchanges, but Joel doubled the advantage in the 11th minute with a close-range finish. Within 16 seconds, Joel turned provider, weaving through the defense before setting up Bethel Emmanuel for third. Still talking the clash between Nigeria and Benin in the Party Games. Joel also completed his brace a minute later with a solo effort, and he secured his hat-trick in the 20th minute after cutting in from the left to make it a 5-0 at the breakthrough. The second half resumed much as the first ended, with Nigeria filing pressure on Benin defense. Usman grabbed his second goal in the 29th minute before Ndako added another to stretch the advantage. Substitute Daniel then made an immediate impact with Nigeria 8 and combined 2 with Ndako in the 42nd minute and the 43rd minute to take the score in a double figure while completing his own hat-trick. Nigeria now turned their attention to today's meeting with Cameroon as the competition gathers momentum across Abeokuta sporting venues, including the MK Abiola Sports Arena, Alake Sports Club Center, and Okemasa. The inaugural West African Zone A and B Para Games began yesterday with more than 700 athletes arriving in Ogun State for the regional multi-sports event. Yes, sir. Moving on, talking CAF Champions League, where I've got this on Rivers United loss against RS Bacon in Uyo. Rivers United lost 2-1 in RS Bacon of Morocco. To RS Bacon of Morocco in their CAF Champions League match day 2 encounter at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium, Uyo, on Friday night. That was yesterday night. Finidi Georgia now 0 points in Group A after going down to their second consecutive defeat in the competition. The Port Harcourt club were on course to pick the maximum point for the game after Bacon midfielder Mamadou Kamara diverted the ball into his own net in the 37th minute. The hosts collapsed in the closing stages of the game to the disappointment of their fans. Yunus Al-Kabir equalized for the visitors in the 7th minute of the stoppage time. RS Bacon got the winning goal through Monachoa. And 1 minute later, defending champions Pyramid FC will travel to Power Dynamos of Zambia for the other group's other games on Saturday. That is today. Rivers United will also be away to Power Dynamos in the next game in the competition on January 23rd, 2026. Yes, sir. Moving on to the EPL and talking 4 fixtures, we could see shock result in match day 13. By the end of this weekend, exactly 1/3 of the Premier League season would have been played. The top of the table clash between Chelsea and Arsenal at Stamford Bridge is obviously the fixture everyone is looking forward to. The game would determine if Mikel Arteta's men are running away with the title or the Blues serious contenders. But before then there will be some exciting matches. Which one can we expect? Now, the first match we've got here is the one between Man City versus Leeds. Last weekend, Manchester City missed a chance to keep pace with leaders after they lost 2-1 at Newcastle. This time around, they will be home against Alta and cold Leeds City, Leeds United. But here's one thing: when Erling Haaland doesn't score, City are essentially a basic team that are likely to drop points. Moving on to the next match. We've got this coming from Tottenham versus Fulham. Thomas Frank's men will be looking to bounce back from a 4-1 thrashing in the North London derby and a 5-3 defeat to PSG in the Champions League. But they hosted tricky Fulham next, and their own form has rather been poor this campaign. It is very possible they drop points again this match. Yes, still talking matches this weekend. We are moving on where we've got this one, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. This is one of the most embarrassing results you will see this season. Was Manchester United losing 1-0 to Everton, who were reduced to a 10-man within the opening of 15 minutes. Ruben Amorim's men looked every toothless and could have played until midnight without scoring. They will face the second best defense in the league at the Selhurst Park next. Moving on to the final one, where we've got this West Ham versus Liverpool. And Slaughter might have walked the league in a debut season, but he's receiving a proper welcome to the Premier League this time. As it stands, Liverpool have lost 9 out of 12 matches ahead of their trip to West Ham. The Hammers are beginning to find the feet under Nuno Espirito Santo, and this could be yet another miserable game for the champions. Yes, still talking EPL, where I've got this comment from Silva talking about Chukwueze and his permanent Fulham transfer. Fulham head coach Marco Silva has said Samuel Chukwueze must keep working hard to earn a permanent deal at the club. Chukwueze is on loan at Fulham from Syria giant AC Milan. The deal includes an option to buy for around 23 million euros. The Nigerian international is yet to start a Premier League game since his arrival at the Craven Cottage. Chukwueze has registered 2 assists and 5 league appearances for the White. Silva challenged the winger to show more consistency and work hard in training. He said, and I quote, too early. But of course, we all recognize the quality Chukwueze has. We go in the direction to see consistency in the way he's going to perform, to train every single day, and after the physical aspect of the Premier League. And that was coming from Silva. Yes, still talking EPL, where I've got this on Kobe Mino, and he's move from Manchester United to Napoli. Manchester United midfielder Kobe Mino has reportedly given the green light to leave Old Trafford for Serie champions Napoli in January transfer windows, according to Italian outlet to Martino. Mino is said to be eager to make a move to Naples, as he knows he needs to revive his stagnating career under Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim. The report added that Napoli have reopened talks with the Red Devils and are keen to finalize the deal for the England international when January transfer window opens. Mino could join Napoli on a straight loan deal unless Antonio Conte's side agrees on a loan to buy for a significant transfer fee. Should Mino join Napoli, it will reunite with his Manchester United teammates Scott McTominay and Rasmus Højlund. Mino enjoyed a breakthrough season under former Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag in the 2023-24 campaign. Unfortunately, the 20-year-old has only started 1 game for Manchester United in the Carabao Cup defeat to Grimsby Town. Yes, still talking EPL, of course, but I've got this on Mika Richards as he snubs Manchester City and has named the club that have the best squad in Europe. from a Manchester City defender. Mika Richards has snapped his old club while claiming that Arsenal have the best squad in Europe. Richards labeled Arsenal squad as powerful, adding that their set pieces is not normal. Arsenal are currently 6 points ahead of the second position, Chelsea, and 7 points ahead of the third position, Manchester City, in the Premier League table. Speaking on the rest of the football podcast, Richards said, and I coach, how good are Arsenal? By the way, their threat at the set piece is not normal. How can you get a delivery right every single time? It is not normal. I don't know how they're doing it. They have got a few injuries, but they are coping because they have got the best squad in Europe. The squad is just ridiculous and so powerful. They can make a few changes and the standard doesn't drop. The squad is just amazing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Finally on the EPL, we have got this from Liverpool as they take decision on sacking Ancelotti. Liverpool have ruled out the possibility of sacking their manager Ancelotti this season. Slaughter is under pressure at Liverpool after his side UEFA Champions League 4-1 defeat to PSV Eindhoven at Anfield in midweek. The former Feyenoord coach is battling to save his job at Liverpool following a catastrophic run of results. Slot's side have lost 9 out of the last 12 games in all competitions. However, according to recent reports, the Dutchman still retains the club back and will remain in the dugout when the Reds face the West Ham United in the Premier League on Sunday. The report added that Slot will be given time to turn things around for good for Liverpool. Slot won the Premier League title for Liverpool in his debut season at the club after replacing Jurgen Klopp. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's quickly take this one on the EPL. This is coming from Chris Sutton as he predicts Chelsea versus Arsenal, Crystal Palace again against Manchester United, and other fixtures. Let's go. From Chelsea star Chris Sutton has predicted the Premier League fixtures scheduled to take place this weekend in England. Manchester City will entertain Leeds United at the Etihad Stadium today, this evening, of course, while Everton will face Newcastle United on Sunday afternoon. That is tomorrow afternoon. Crystal Palace will clash with Manchester United, while Chelsea will host Arsenal later in the evening at Stamford Bridge. West Ham United will also host Liverpool at the London Stadium tomorrow, with Aston Villa set to square off against Wolves. Yeah, it's Sutton's prediction via BBC Sport. Sutton said Brentford will beat Burnley in a victory of 2-0. Sunderland will lost to Bournemouth in a victory of 1-2. Manchester City will beat Leeds City to a victory of 4-0. Everton and Newcastle will sadly have a draw of 1-1. Tottenham Hotspur and Fulham will have a draw of 1-1. Crystal Palace will have a draw, will beat Manchester United to a victory of 1-0. West Ham United will beat Liverpool to a victory of 2-1. Aston Villa will beat Wolves to a victory of 2-0. Nottingham Forest and Brighton will have a draw of 1-1. Chelsea will lost to Arsenal in a defeat, in a stunning defeat of 0-2. Well, what do you think? What do you think? What do you predict? This matches the outcome of this matches will be. What is your prediction? What is your prediction? Callers out there, you can call the studio lines 081 655 24699. The numbers again 081 655 24699. What is your prediction for this games? The number to call, if that number doesn't go, another number to call is 0813 274 7339. 0813 274 7339. Yes, glad to have you back. The program is still Sports Diaries, coming to you from your favorite radio station, iPower 102.7 FM. And we're still talking sports, of course, where we're talking EPL. And now we're moving on to Turkey, where we've got this coming from Osimhen, and this is an update on his return to Galatasaray to training ahead of Istanbul derby with Fenerbahce. Victor Osimhen trained with the rest of the Galatasaray squad yesterday ahead of the Istanbul derby with Fenerbahce. Osimhen has not made any appearance for the Yellow and the Reds since sustaining an hamstring injury on international duty with Nigeria 2 weeks ago. The 26-year-old missed Galatasaray's away win at Istanbul Başakşehir last weekend and the home loss to United St. Gilios on Wednesday. The striker was pictured in training with teammates on Friday, an indication that he is ready for an action against Fenerbahce. Galatasaray who intensify preparations for the crucial fixtures at the training center today. The top of the table clash will hold at the Rams Park on Monday. Galatasaray top the Super League table with 32 points after 13 round matches, while Fenerbahce are 1 point behind. Yes, I've got this quick one on the EPL. And Arteta, as he says, Chelsea is fully deserving title rival ahead of the showdown. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says second place Chelsea fully deserve to be considered Premier League title contenders as he prepares his team for Sunday game at Stamford Bridge. Arteta's men are currently 6 points clear of the second place Blues after 12 games of the season. They are in buoyant mood after the 4-1 win over arch rivals Tottenham was followed by a 3-1 defeat of German giant Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Chelsea are also following up 3 straight league wins and jumping 3-0 victory over Barcelona on Tuesday. Despite their front line, Enzo Maresca's youthful Chelsea side are still considered an outsider to win the Premier League title. But Arteta is not underestimating his opponents who won the UEFA Conference League and Club World Cup last season. Yes, still talking EPL, where I've got this coming from Maresca as he confirms that Cole Palmer is ready for Arsenal showdown. Cole Palmer is fit to start Chelsea Premier League Summit meeting against Arsenal this weekend after more than 2 months on the sideline. Manager Enzo Maresca said recently the England forward has not played for the club since September 20th, initially missing with a groin problem before fracturing a toe. Chelsea boss Maresca told his pre-match press conference that Palmer was available to start Sunday matches at the Stamford Bridge. He said in Italian and our coach, everyone is happy, his teammates are happy, we are all happy, and most important thing is that Cole is happy because in the end football players want to play games. I agree with that. Palmer was Chelsea top scorer in the Premier League last season with 15 goals. He has just made 4 appearances in all competition for the club this season, scoring twice. He's probably our best player, said Maresca. We are happy he's back, and now we need to give him time, to be 100% fit. Of course, we're happy Cole Palmer is back too. Welcome back, Cole Palmer. Yes, we've got this on a boycott of the 2026 World Cup draw over USA visa row. Iran is to boycott next week World Cup finals draw in Washington because the United States have refused to grant visas to several members of the delegation. The Iranian Football Federation announced this recently, and the announcement says in our coach, we have informed FIFA that the decision taken had nothing to do with sports, and the members of the Iranian delegation will not participate in the World Cup draw. The Federation spokesperson told newsman Iranian sports website Vasher 3 has claimed that recently that the United States had declined to issue visas to several members of the delegation, including the president of the Federation, Medtaj, on Thursday. Taj had denounced the decision as a political one. He said in our coach, we have told the head of FIFA, Mr. Gianni Infantino, that it is purely a political position and that FIFA must tell the US to desist from this behavior, according to Vasej. 3 4 members of the delegation, including Amara Galoni, the coach, had been granted visas for the draw on December 5th. Iran qualified for the sports quadrennial showpiece in March, guaranteeing them a 4th successive appearance and 17 all. They have yet to progress to the knockout stages, and they were unconfined joy. There was unconfined joy when in the 1998 finals in France, Iran beat the USA 2-1 in a group match. The USA avenged by beating Iran 1-0 in the 2022 edition. The United States, which is co-hosting the World Cup with Canada and Mexico, and Iran have been at loggerheads for over 4 decades. They had, though, been holding 11 nuclear talks between Tehran and Washington that had begun in April, during which the two sides were at odds over Iran's right to enrich uranium, which Tehran defends as inalienable. Yes, moving to the world of boxing, the world of wrestling, from the world of soccer, we're moving straight into the world of boxing with this boxers battle for the IBHF Governor's Belt Sports. the race to secure places in the prestigious 2025 Lagos Boxing Hall of Fame Governor's Belt intensifies this weekend as fighters step into the ring for the November edition of the monthly championships. On November 29th, the Agege Stadium will host a fierce contest where boxers battle for coveted slot in the end of the year Governor's Belt bouts as 3 female bouts and 7 main contestants. Male contest headline the card. The tournament serves as a crucial qualifier for boxers seeking slot in the prestigious Governor's Belt Championship later this year, according to our BHF director David Mohammed. This event is crucial as the last qualifying bout before the Governor Belt final. He said, and I quote, since we resumed the BHF in October, there has been serious interest from boxers across Lagos. We cannot accommodate everyone, so we aim to select the very best for the Governor's Belt. This weekend bout will surely produce another set of boxers for the end of the year tournament. In the woman category, Mitra Oteneke of Surulere will slug it out against Aino Adekoya of Lagos Island in the 48 kg division. Inioluwa Adekoya faces Onidamola Agbola in the 45 kg class, while the exhibition bout will see Zainab Ibrahim of Queen Elizabeth Junior Secondary School take the peculiar Ifeme of Glory International School Agbado in the 27 kg class. The opening bout of the men event beats Karim Yusuf of Amuwo against Olamide Bello of Yaba in the 53rd kg category. In the 60 kg category, Kola Ogunshemore of Lagos Mainland battles Kuduza Kinwande of Badagry. Alganiwa Ayamide Agboiketu of Agboiketu faces Daniel Ikem of Oshodi in another clash at the same weight. Yes, still talking boxing. Well, we've got this coming from Joshua, where he has agreed to school Paul in the match that is coming up soon. And former 2-time unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has vowed to expose and stop Jake Paul when they clash on December 19 at the Kesaya Center in Miami. Joshua, who is heavily favored by bookmakers at the over -1,000, promised to dominate the 8-round Netflix bout. He said, and I quote, I am going to break his face. I am going to break his body up. I am going to stomp all over him. That's my fighter's mentality. I am going to come forward, impose myself, land heavy punches, and expose him to certain tricks in boxing that he may not have seen yet. I am going to bring him to another school of boxing, and I don't think he's been exposed to yet. Despite his confidence, Joshua acknowledged Paul's dedication and preparation. He said, I see talent, I see focus, he puts in work, he's a good team, nothing negative. I take it seriously. He has conqueror's mentality. His mentality is solid. Joshua, who holds a 28-4 record with 25 knockouts, is 6-4 since 2019 and hasn't fought since a devastating 5th round stoppage loss to Daniel Dubios in September 2024. Still in the world of boxing, when Nigeria is to host Made in African Boxing Congress. Nigeria will host the inaugural African Boxing Congress and Boxing Gala Night this Sunday, December 28, on Sunday, December 28, 2025, which will bring together representatives from over 20 affiliated nations federation from across Africa to Lagos. The Nigerian Boxing Federation, under the leadership of Honorable Wale Adur, secured the hosting rights for the Langman event from the African boxing, the governing board, the governing body for the Continent Boxing Confederation, and the arm of World Boxing, the international body for Olympic style boxing. In a letter to the MBF, African boxing described Nigeria as a strategic nation with capacity to lead the holistic advancement of the squad ropes sports in the continent. The letter is also announced the appointment of the MBF Vice President Honorable Amanile Imadu as a member of the African Boxing Working Committee with additional responsibility as head of organization for the forthcoming Congress. Yes, now moving on to the transfer rumors. The transfer rumors in the world of soccer. Transfer rumors in the world. We're moving on to the transfer scene where we're talking transfer rumors in the world of soccer. Now let's kick off with Barcelona. Barcelona aim to sign centre-back striker and left winger in the summer, according to Mundo Deportivo. At the back, they are looking at Sporting CP, Gonzalo Iñárritu, Nottingham Forest, Murillo, Borussia Dortmund, Nico Schlotterbeck, Palmeiras, Luis Vendetti, Crystal Palace, Macquarie, up front, the Blaugrana, like Atletico Madrid, Julian Alvarez, but a deal would not be complete, would be difficult to complete. Manchester City and in Ireland seems like another impossible dream. So Bayern Munich, is gaining tractions with a 65 million euros clause. Outright backer will decide whether to trigger the 30 million euros option to sign Marcus Rashford from Manchester United based on his performance, while AC Milan Rafael Leao continues to be linked to Rafinha, could depart amid Saudi Pro League interest. Still on the transfer scene, where we've got this from Manchester City. Manchester City have joined Arsenal in showing an interest to Elche midfielder Rodrigo Mendoza. Recent reports say that even though both Premier League clubs have creative midfielders, they will continue to monitor the Spain Youth International progress and any development in his situation. The 20-year-old is also on Real Madrid's radar, in addition to impressing Elche, where he has scored 2 goals in 10 appearances for the newly promoted La Liga side. Mendoza featured in last month's FIFA Under-20 World Cup, where Spain lost 3-2 to Colombia in the quarterfinals. Still talking transfer, while Liverpool face a dilemma about whether to make a move for AFC Bournemouth winger Anto Semenyo in January over the summer transfer window. According to recent reports, the issue with waiting until after the season has ended is that Manchester City are expected to join the race to sign the 25-year-old at the point the Ghana international can be signed this winter if a club triggers his release clause and the Reds view him as Mohamed Salah's successor. Yes, still on the transfer scene, where Arsenal and Manchester City and Chelsea have all sent scouts to watch Jagiellonia Białystok midfielder Oscar Petruszewski. According to recent reports, the 17-year-old has already made his mark in the Ekstraklasa this term, recording 3 goals and 2 assists. The 24th senior appearance, despite playing in a deeper position. All 3 clubs have gone past the point of the observation as they have held preliminary discussions with Petruszewski camp and are actively preparing approaches for where the January transfer window begins. Still talking transfer, where Borussia Dortmund striker Sir Ogurese, he has released as a release clause that will activate each summer of 2026 and they worth around 50 million euros. Recent reports say, however, the clause is only valid for Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United. The 29-year-old wants to win trophies, so will make his decision based on Dortmund's performances and would only consider joining a top club, having already turned down a 20 million euros per year offer to join Saudi Pro League Al Hilal. For him, Fishnik Aslani is a strong candidate to replace Gurasi if he leaves. Still talking transfer, Real Madrid have told Liverpool that they have ended their interest in defender Ibrahim Konate, who will be free to open talks with foreign clubs from January 1st as his Anfield contract is due to expire in the summer. Vinicius Jr. is also closer to renewing his Real Madrid contract after apologizing to coach Xabi Alonso and lowering his wage demand. Moving on the transfer scene, where Zavino is to leave Manchester City in January for 50 million euro fee, with Tottenham Hotspur continuing to look at the winger. Still talking transfer, of course, where Sunderland are serious about Mato Guendouzi with Lazio financial troubles, meaning they could allow the midfielder to leave. Newcastle United and Aston Villa and Napoli are also interested in Matteo. Of course, still talking transfer, where Roma could terminate Evan Ferguson's loan and try to sign another striker in January. They are considering Manchester United, Joshua Zirkzee, Tottenham Hotspur, Martin Stella, Midtjylland, Francolino Jew, and Corinthians Yuri Alberto. Still talking transfer, where RB Leipzig defender Castello Lukeba is ready to take the next step in his career and will have a 80 million euros release clause next year. And still talking transfer, where Leeds United have inquired about re-signing Calvin Phillips on loan, but a deal is unlikely as they want Manchester City to make a significant contributions to the midfielders to 50,000 euros a week wage. Phillips could consider offers from France, Spain, and Germany. We've got this talking transfer on Daniel Maldini as he could leave Atlanta during January transfer window. And still talking transfer, where we've got this on Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, and Brentford as they are among the clubs actively monitoring Pogon Shizezin, midfielder Andrin Price-Borek. And finally on the transfer scene, where Roma have offered Zeki Selik a contract that runs up to until 2029 as they aim to keep the rights back, but several clubs across Europe are monitoring the 28-year-old ahead of potentially signing him as a free agent in the summer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And moving on, where we've got this, where we're moving on to pictures that will be played today, tomorrow, and on Monday. Beginning from pictures that will be played today, Saturday, the 29th of November, where we've got this on the English Premier League, where Bradford United versus Burnley will kick off by 4 p.m. Manchester City versus Leeds City will kick off by 4 p.m. Sunderland versus AFC Bournemouth will kick off by 4 p.m. Everton versus Newcastle United will kick off by 6:30 p.m. Tottenham Hotspur versus Fulham will kick off by 9 p.m. Moving on to the English Champions League, where Leicester City versus Sheffield United will kick off by 1:30 p.m. Portsmouth versus Bristol City will kick off by 1:30 p.m. Stoke City versus Hull City will kick off by the same time 1:30 p.m. Coventry City versus Charlton Athletic will kick off by 4 p.m. Middlesbrough versus Derby County by the same time 4 p.m. Millwall versus Southampton by 4 p.m. Norwich City versus Queen Park Rangers will kick off by 4 p.m. Sheffield Wednesday versus Preston North End will kick off by 4 p.m. West Bromwich Albion versus Swansea City will kick off by 4 p.m. Wrexham versus Blackburn Rovers will kick off by 4 p.m. Still talking fixtures, of course, where I've got this coming from the CAF Champions League, where FC St. Inioluwa versus Al Hilal Omidurman will kick off by 2 p.m. Stade Malien versus Simba SC by 5 p.m. Moving on to the English Premier League, that is going to be happening tomorrow on the 30th of November, where Crystal Palace versus Manchester United will kick off by 1 p.m. Aston Villa versus Wolverhampton Wanderers will kick off by 3:05 p.m. Nottingham Forest versus Brighton and of Albion will kick off by 3:05 p.m. West Ham United versus Liverpool will kick off by 3:05 p.m. Finally, Chelsea versus Arsenal will kick off by 5:30 p.m. Yes, moving on to the Nigeria Professional League matches that will be played tomorrow, where Barao versus Kwara United will kick off by 4 p.m. Bayelsa United versus Katsina United will kick off by 4 p.m. Eyimba versus Rangers International will kick off by 4 p.m. Ikorodu City versus Abia Warriors will kick off by the same time 4 p.m. Kunkalifat FC versus Plateau United by 4 p.m. Shooting Stars SC versus Alkanemi Warriors will kick off by 4 p.m. Wari Wolves will kick off versus Nasarawa United will kick off by the same time 4 p.m. And moving on to matches that will be played in the new month, the 1st of December. That is happening on Monday. I'm talking English Champions League, where Birmingham City versus Watford will kick off by 9 p.m. Yes, still talking matches that will be played on Monday. Talking Turkish Super League, where Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray will kick off by 6 p.m. and Samsunspor versus Allianspor will kick off by 6 p.m. And with that, we've come to a wrap on today's edition of Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios. Many thanks to our general manager, Engineer Paul Olotu. I am very grateful. Many thanks to you, and God bless you. Many thanks to the HOP and the HON for making today's program possible. Many thanks to MTK, our studio manager. Many thanks to Shago, the man in charge of the ICT. Many thanks to the engineers out there. Many thanks to Mr. Ora. And until next time, that is on Monday by 8 p.m. I remain your favorite sports Steve. Don't forget to join me by 3 p.m. on our program Hats and a Hustle. And until next time, have a splendid weekend. And don't forget to keep loving the game and stay sporting. God bless you.